James, here's what I don't understand. This guy, I cannot think of his name, it was Ben something. I saw him. He wrote an article about why parents shouldn't be involved in the education system at all. Now, we all know this Ben guy that I can't think of his friggin' name right now, that he's a piece of trash. But why do parents not see this and get worried? These people talk about this stuff openly all the time. The parents shouldn't be involved. The parents shouldn't be involved. If someone had my son for whether it's baseball practice or school and told me, you're not involved, in fact, I don't even want you to know, I'd be awfully suspicious.
Yeah, well, luckily, parents do notice more than about anybody else. I luckily just came back from Europe, and they told me that woke hasn't really taken over the European continent yet, although they're very socialist. But who's noticing are the parents in schools. But most of the reason is we've got a bad case in this country in general of what we might call, somebody called expertitis. We believe the experts. So teachers and administrators and college professors are experts. So obviously they know what's best. And, a lot of parents don't really want to get too involved. It's too difficult to get too directly involved with raising your own kids. And so you just, outsource it to the experts. And I think that that's a big part of it. The experts know. They have master's degrees. That's what they tell you when you call them out on this. They say, well, we have master's degrees. You don't.
Okay. Expertitis. One, I love that. I'm totally going to use that. Two, why do we have expertitis here and they don't in socialist European countries? I thought this was the land of the free, of independence, of throwing the family in a covered wagon and heading west. Yet we have a worse case of expertitis than quasi-socialist European nations?
That's what it looks like, yeah. I think the reason is because we've just gotten so comfortable for the past 30 to 40 years, and we let the experts handle it. Yeah, well, everything's really technical. We'll just let the experts deal with it. I don't know how finance works. I'll just give all my money to some index fund to manage it all for me, and they'll go do some kind of crazy investing that ruins the world. There's a lot of outsourcing of expertise in the United States, a lot of people not wanting to take the personal responsibility this country was built on, and I think that that's the problem.
What's social and emotional learning?
Brainwashing. It's manipulating children's social and emotional experiences so that you can implant into them various political topics posing as education. It's reframing education to brainwash children in order to, say, accept the Sustainable Development Goals of Agenda 2030, or to become sustainable and inclusive or equitable or whatever other BS terms that they want to introduce into the kids. So it's intentionally using social and emotional cues to get the children's attention, to get the children engaged, and to direct them into things like responsible decision making, according to the experts, and self-awareness. So maybe you think you're a little boy, but if you were more aware of yourself, you might realize you're a little girl who could transition. And social awareness, so you have to realize how to navigate with racism and sexism and transphobia and homophobia everywhere. And when you see this, activism today in the news, we have all these student walkouts across the country because of guns or something, because a trans person shot somebody at some schools or at a school in Nashville. And so now we have to have a walkout for guns. What they've been done is they've been brainwashed to go take political action as a result of their social emotional learning schooling that they've been having, that replaced real education with political education.
James, things like critical race theory. Now, obviously, a parent's going to get upset if the math teacher's telling them why Whitey sucks. That's a very obvious thing. But because there was such a public pushback against critical race theory, it seems like it's quieted down. Now, I'm not naive enough about who and what these people are to think that it's gone away, but surely they're just adjusting language, right?
Yeah, they actually adjusted it to something called culturally responsive teaching, which you'll notice is also CRT, which was developed by a woman named Gloria Ladson Billings in the 1990s, in the same year that she made the push to take critical race theory. We've heard it's only in law. She pushed critical race theory into education in 1995 with a paper called Toward a Critical Race Theory of Education. And she also wrote the papers on culturally responsive teaching in the same year, 1995. And so they're just hiding the ball in a different way. In my opinion, what Republicans should be doing in states where they have the power to do it is creating what we might call FAFO laws. If you want to go ahead and say, well, it's against the law to teach critical race theory, but I'm just going to change the words and do it anyway, I think those people need to lose their licenses, maybe get $50,000 fines, maybe go to jail for a few years. We need to come down pretty hard on these communists who decide that they're above the law, and that they're going to do what they're going to do anyway. And I think that's the only way to make them stop. They only understand power, as you say frequently.